Okay, so it seems like recently there's been a little bit of a situation going on with the Filian hiatus stuff. Now, as you guys know, there's been a lot of different little bits to do with Filian and her hiatus in terms of like the little clues or little, like, for example, we saw like graffiti popping up and whatever. Again, whether that was you know, done by Filian or just done by people that have seen like similar stuff or whatever, we don't know. But essentially, yeah, there has been like many different people wanting to get in on this like ARG hiatus thing or whatever you want to call it. Now, recently though, it seems that there has been a little bit of a situation of someone pretending to be Filian or trying to get in on this and trying to confuse things a lot more. And this actually comes from a post from Kirsche, who obviously has interacted with Filian quite a bit before, and she puts here saying, all right, something is fishy here. My mods thought that Filian is lost account that has raided into me a few times on Twitch was a fan account, since Filian's actual alt is Filian is lost with the actual L. But maybe it's not a fan account and is part of the ARG. So yeah, obviously it seems like someone kept on popping up about being raided, and they were raided by Filian or someone called Filian, right? Despite her being away on hiatus at the moment. Obviously, they go on the list here saying the ARG channel in her Discord is missing, which obviously, yeah, we know. And as we found out, the moderators do not know what has happened to that. You know, they're not involved with taking it down or anything like that. The account seems to have typed out a blank message 2 times in my YouTube chat. And what an interesting titled stream they chose to chat in. So to my knowledge, they also have typed in the chats of Pipkin Pippa, Chio Chompy, Matara Khan, and Rima Evanstar. So again, it seems that they've hit quite a lot of people, and I have seen these chats going around. I've seen, for example, Pippa. I saw that she was active in her stream. I say she was, the account was active, which of course it doesn't seem like it is Filian, right? The YouTube account has some text in it, which when translated from the name Jin Xing, a famous Chinese transgender TV personality, whose name also means Venus Golden Star. When looking at the YouTube account, the description has a blank Unicode, which has appeared with the just the Chinese text in Chrome, but additional characters in Firefox. Is this done on purpose, or and they say back to the Twitch account, there's a giant green eye that links to a password protected notepad. Maybe the password of the notepad has something to do with the VTubers streamers chats that the Filian is lost YouTube account is typing in, since their chats are blank. A cipher with first initials. How would Golden Star or Venus tie into this? I figured I would just leave this trail of info here in case anybody could make sense of it, because I have no idea what the hell is going on. And yeah, as you can see, this seems to be the account that is you know, raiding them. It says Filian is IOST. So it does just seem to be a just an alt account, right? And I don't think this is again, I just can't see this being an actual Filian account, right? I don't believe it is. It just doesn't really make sense. It seems like to me that the ARG is kind of done ever since the channel was like gone and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, it seems like this account has been going around. Obviously, this is them, yeah, raiding into the stream. This is the account apparently over on YouTube. You know, all the world stage, and we're merely players. Again, here is the green eye that is in their kind of stream elements thing, whatever you want to call it, the about page. And of course, here is the YouTube channel, the Chrome and Firefox thing. Now, again, of course, as I said, you know, there has been a lot of, you know, ARG stuff going on to figure out. And, you know, maybe there is a potential for this to be a part of the ARG. But as I said, I feel like we're kind of past that point now. And I don't think it would be done in this kind of way, right? I don't think she would just be raiding like random people. You know, I definitely do think it is a very random, you know, random people to be raiding. You know, for example, like Pippa. You know, I don't see exactly right, like Matara again. Maybe there is some reason, but again, I don't know. Like, I feel like it would make more sense if, you know, obviously Kirsche makes sense. But, you know, maybe like Neurosama or something like that would make sense. Crowley would make sense, but they haven't raided into any of those, right? So again, I do think it is a little bit interesting, you know, how that has been done. And again, that's what makes me think that this isn't a part of anything to do with Filian, and it might be somebody that's trying to, you know, confuse things a little bit further, right? And apparently they're saying this is indeed someone trying to hijack the ARG, according to a Filian clipper, saying, so this is known as an ARG hacker. They create channels with names related to the ARG in an attempt to confuse people. They also emailed some stuff to people they found in the ARG doc. So yeah, obviously some people were figuring out some of the locations and things that were like left in the clues here. Of course, saying, I was informed from Filian's Discord that there was a guy who attempted to hijack the ARG and got banned, and these photos match what he was doing just in the Discord, not streamer chat. Just something I think everyone should be aware of. I said, yeah, if someone is hijacking it, that would be quite bad, but the ARG channel in our Discord is gone, and no one knows what is going on. So how would anyone be able to root out a bad actor versus what she was having people do? Thank you for the extra context, my man. So yeah, I mean, 100%. You know, I think getting rid of the chat, of course, isn't exactly the best idea. But as I said, the moderators were not the ones to choose that, as far as we know. It seems like it just kind of happened. So that makes me think Filian might have done it, or someone close to Filian has done it, right? And again, it does kind of confuse things further, because then you have situations like this when nobody can really talk about it. Because again, there's not really a space for people to go, oh yeah, this is fake, by the way, or whatever. So that does confuse things a little bit further. Said the links to a password protected pastebin. Yeah, I said notepad, I said pastebin. There was this thing as well, which kind of interested me, but it seems like this was also just like a false thing. Like, I recorded this back on April 1st, 2026. And it was like, it seemed like it was her kind of setting up for like thumbnails, right? Like the whole thing was her setting up for thumbnails, and I think this was her VTuber awards kind of outfit. Now obviously they claimed it was on April 1st, which would have been about, what, over a month ago, almost 2 months ago actually. So yeah, of course, you know, Kirsche said, interesting if true, April Fool's stream and how it flew under the radar, so hard to, sorry to be super interrogatey, but do you have proof this is from April 1st? And of course, whenever, you know, she asked that, it says, all I can say is that was a first-hand witness. I mean, again, some people putting things here saying it's from an accidental stream from November 2023, absolute nothing burger. Just looked this up, but it looks a little bit similar to the VTuber Awards thing. And again, I just don't believe this is part of the ARG at all. You know, obviously kids are here saying, after watching it, I feel like this might have just been created for thumbnails. At least that's what it seems like. I don't think it's part of the ARG. It might have been an accidental stream, which again, it could have been an accidental stream. But again, you know, some people were pointing out that apparently it was a stream from November 2023. And of course, she has, it doesn't really make sense that she's in a VTuber Awards outfit as well. You know, and as we know, it was almost but confirmed that we were having a debut happening with all of the old clips that we were looking through, and this doesn't look like a different kind of outfit, right? And it doesn't really make sense why she'd be making thumbnail images if, again, her model was going to be different, right? Because you wouldn't make thumbnail images with your old model if you're going to have a new model, right? Like, it just doesn't make sense. So again, I do think it is very, very interesting. But obviously, people saying, am I just conspiracy pilled? That I think this point is just to point the retards who can't solve the ARG in the direction, which again could be the case. But as I said, it seems like the conclusion that a lot of people have kind of gotten to is that it was just a kind of false, you know, it was a false thing. Saying, are you giving us clues? I don't have information that would lead us to the arrest of Hillary Clinton or the retrieval of the Filipino boy. So it seems like Kirsche doesn't really know anything herself about this. But yeah, it's just one of those things, right? So definitely be careful whenever it comes to looking at this. From what I would say, at least from what I've seen in terms of all of the, you know, channels going down, I would be pretty, convinced that the ARG is kind of just stopped now, and that we're just gonna have to wait until, you know, obviously she goes live or whatever. That would be my kind of thought process to kind of go through. And so if you see anything new, it probably isn't, unless it's like 100% confirmed. And of course, I'll make a video on it if it is confirmed, right? And people will have confirmed it to be part of the ARG. Not necessarily this, but literally anything else that does come out, right? But from my kind of understanding, I would say just kind of assume everything is kind of fake at this point. And, you know, if there is something that is legitimate, it will be big news, so don't worry, right? But, you know, if it's just random people raiding into people's kind of streams and stuff, I just don't really think it's anything to do with Filian whatsoever, right? But yeah, I mean, that is essentially all there is for this situation. If you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kaza, get 10% off again. They've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.